everyone, my name's Becky from Back to Blighty and welcome back to the podcast. This is episode 3 and it has been a while since I last did a recording, I know, but I'm back. I've got loads to share with you today. But first of all, I'd like to say welcome back to all my subscribers and also welcome if you're new. This podcast is about all things knitting and sewing related, so I hope you find something you like while you're here. It has been an age since I last did a podcast and I've had an awful lot going on. First of all, my dad had 2 brain surgeries and has been recovering from that, and he's doing amazingly well, so he's just brilliant. It was just fantastic. So hi Dad, he'll be watching. And so I spent an awful lot of time with him, going over to hospital and also making sure he was okay at home, and he stayed with us for a bit. But I have been really busy doing some other things, including working, but we won't talk about that because that's all a bit boring and you're here for the sewing and knitting. So, first of all, I thought I'd start with what I'm wearing. So I've got a new outfit on. I have been sewing. I lost my sojo for a little bit, and I think some of that was sort of the anxiety over my dad being poorly and sort of sitting in hospital an awful lot. So I did get an awful lot of knitting done. And I kind of lost my sojo. I think I just couldn't focus for very long on something. So I haven't been sewing that much for a while, but I now have. And so I shall carry on talking about my outfit because that's what you want to know about anyway. So the top is, I'm going to have to check my notes, Butterick 4685. And I haven't got the pattern sleeve to show you actually, but it's just a basic elasticated neck, and it does call for elastic around the sleeves, but I don't like that because I feel a bit restricted. So it's in this lovely Swiss dot that's got bluebells on it, which is really sort of topical for this time of year. In England we have an awful lot of bluebells this time of year and they smell just glorious. So the other thing I'm wearing is a pinafore dress, so I shall stand up and give you a little twirl. It's just a basic pinafore. This one's a little bit different. I decided that I was going to draft my own. I was looking at patterns and there's some great patterns out there. I know Tilly and the Buttons has got, I think it's her Clio pinafore dress. And I have a pinafore dress that was a ready to wear one that I love and I live in. And what I liked about it is it had a zipper up the side. So I thought, well, it's quite a basic thing to do, so I might as well just draft my own one. So I did, and I'll stand up again. So I've got a little zip here, which keeps it nice here. So yeah, really pleased with it. Added some nice little rose gold clasps there and a pocket here. My other Dungaree dress has got pockets in the skirt, but I wanted one here. So really pleased with it. It took about 1.5 meters fabric, if that, and was easy to whiz up. So not really an awful lot to say about that one. So, excuse me, the pew squeaking again. I know I always say this. This is the trouble with wooden furniture. It seems to talk to you while you're podcasting. So I'm also working on another project, so bear with me while I just go and grab Dolly. So here she is. So this one was on Instagram and it got an awful lot of love. This is the Butterick 6217, which I've made before, but it's a little bit different because I changed it a bit. The pattern, which is here, there you go. It's got this lovely sweetheart neckline. I've already got 2, I think, with that neckline, so I decided to change it up a bit and do more of a scooped neckline, which is really easy to do. And it's got these lovely buttons here, which were some vintage buttons that I found in my mum's old stash, so I included those as well. It's not quite finished. I've still got the bias binding to do around the sleeves and then it's done. But I really like the way this top fits on me. It's a good fitting top and I wear them a lot, so, and I just love the fabric. I only had 1 meter of this fabric. I got it from a little shop in Bexhill, which is on the south coast. It's about 3/4 of an hour away from me, and I saw it, I had to have it. There was only 1 meter. I thought, don't care, need to make something with that. So this is what I squeezed out of it. So really pleased, looking forward to getting that finished. So literally 10-minute job and it should be done. So acquisition wise, well, I've got a piece of fabric and I've got something a little bit special to show you as well. I'll show you the fabric first. Keeping in with the bee theme, I also found this fabric in the same shop and it's got bees on it. Look at that. So this is going to be a dress because it's glorious and it's going to be very summery and I really like it. I think I've got 2 meters there, so I can squeeze something out of that. Again, it was the end of the roll, it's all they had. So it's called, oh, I don't know if it's got a name actually. It's from redroosterfabrics.com. Ah, Quilting Bee it's called. Both of these are quilting weight cottons, this and the other bee top that I did. But I find they make great summer dresses, and it's quite a nice soft one as well, so it's got a bit of drape to it, look, as you can see. So really like that. So we've got a bit of a bee thing going on, which is good because we need to look after our bees. They're a bit in decline, so they're really important. So that's the bee fabric. Looking forward to using that. Now the other acquisition I got was a lovely gift from my dad, and I'm going to get the box. It's just over here. Okay, so he got me this. Isn't it just the cutest? So the box in itself is amazing, and it is a tiny sewing machine. I think it was probably a toy because you can see on the side there's a little girl sewing with it. But I shall get it out. He bought it for me, took it home and spent ages cleaning it all up, and it is just the most beautiful little machine. Okay, so there it is. Look at that. It's even got the original thread on it, and if you wind it, the needle goes up and down. It does actually work as well. It hasn't got a bobbin underneath, but the way it's threaded means that it catches underneath as well, so it's really gorgeous. It's a really special gift, and he got it for me just because he said I did a lot for him, which is really kind. So yeah, and the really great thing about it is it was made in 1947, which was the year that my dad was born. So it's brilliant. So thank you, Dad. It's going to be gorgeous, and it's going to live up here in my sewing room. So it's really kind. I love it. So I'm just going to have a little slurp of my tea. It's nothing inspiring. It's just English breakfast tea in my fox mug. So yeah, just with milk. But it's very nice. So on to the knitting goodness now. I've got a lot to share with you. I have been, as I said, knitting up a little bit of a storm, and I've got loads of finished objects. So let's start with the big ones. So the first one is my Karnickel shawl, which is a pattern from Martina Behm. I'm sorry if that's wrong, but anyway, it's a pattern on Ravelry. It's a paid for pattern, and it's this amazing shawl. So it starts off one end with this moss stitch, and then it goes into a stripe and then finishes with the lace. So really love it. The pink yarn was from Skein Queen. It's the Bronze Rose colourway, and this yarn is Hazelnut, and it's from Baah Platinum, and you can't really see it in this light. I don't know if you can. I'm going to try. But it's actually got a little bit of stellina in it, so it sparkles, but only in certain light. So it really is beautiful. So I love it. I've still got to sew in the ends. You can see there's a couple of ends there, but it's just lovely and drapey, and it's going to be amazing. Love it. So really pleased with that pattern. It's a gorgeous pattern. It really is a dream to sew. Sew, a dream to knit, should I say. So really pleased with that one. The next finished object that I've done recently is my Bluebell walk shawl. Now this shawl was made with my best friend in mind. You probably remember me mentioning before, she moved to the Highlands of Scotland last year now, and I miss her a lot. We both have dogs, and we used to go to our local wood, which is only 5 minutes up the road, and we used to go for Bluebell walks, especially this time of year. So it was just glorious, and we'd spend a lot of time chatting and having fun, and I miss her terribly, but hopefully, well, I am seeing her at the end of June, and then I'm going to go up and see her, so that's really exciting. So I'll be up soon, Sally. But this shawl was with her in mind because the yarn I dyed I called Bluebell Walk, and I decided to do the Highland Peak shawl by Mina Phillip, It's got this glorious lace edging across the bottom. So the yarns I used was Bluebell Walk, obviously, which is this yarn here. And then I dyed up just a speckled white number so that I got the stripes. And I love it. I absolutely love this shawl. I'm going to wear it absolutely loads. And I love the way you can wear it like this as a cowl, or you can wear it around your shoulders. So yeah, really special. And I like having things where they mean something, you know, there's a little bit of a story behind them. So, sorry, my camera's flashing. Don't know why that is. We shall see. But I'm going to take it off because it's a bit hot. But yes, really pleased, loved the pattern, loved the lace. Honestly, loads and loads of stitch markers required on this lace panel if you're going to do this. But really pleased with that. Socks. I've got lots of socks to show you. The first ones are my Neapolitan socks, which I showed you. I think I had done one on my last one, so here they are. The yarn was from Easy Knits when I went to Farnham, and yes, I went to Unravel at Farnham. Couldn't for the life of me think of what it was then. Anyway, this yarn I bought at Unravel. It's from Easy Knits, and the contrasting heels, toes and cuffs was a little mini skein that I got from River Knits at the same place. Love them. Really, really nice. And they've got a little bit of stellina in. I don't know if you can see that. Probably not on the camera. So yeah, really pleased with them. It's quite a substantial sock yarn. It's quite sturdy, but I quite like that. And they're fun. Love them. So they're going to get loads and loads of wear. The next pair I made are a bit bright, and this is out of my Toxic Daffodil colourway. I shall show you them. So this was the Hermione Everyday Socks pattern, which you can get on Ravelry, and the yarn is Toxic Daffodil, as I said, and there's a contrasting heel, toe and cuff, and they've got stellina in as well. They're a little bit blown out on the camera, but you kind of get the idea. Really lovely. It's a really nice base. Again, it's slightly woolly, it's slightly sturdy, but not scratchy at all. So there you go. And I've still got one of those left in the shop, so I should put a link below to those. Really like those socks. Going to be bright. Remind me a bit of the 80s. We used to wear odd ones then, if anyone remembers that. Show my age. But yeah, fantastic. Love those ones. Now the next ones I'm going to put on my sock blocker. And because they just look nicer on sock blockers, don't they? So I shall whip them on here. So these ones are just a vanilla sock. When I do my vanilla socks, I just do 64 stitches, and I do a 2x2 rib, and I usually do a fish lips kiss heel, just because I find that they fit my feet really, really well. So this is my Atlantis colourway. Again, they're quite bright and leery, but love them nevertheless. And again, the heels, toes and cuffs have got this sparkly stellina in them, and I really like them. So there's a little bit of colour pooling here, but it doesn't bother me too much. It was one of the first ones I dyed, so I was kind of expecting that, but I've sort of yeah, grown, I suppose, with my dyeing, and a little bit more knowledge now, which does help. So the last socks that I have as a finished object are these ones. Now this is a commercial yarn. It's Head Over Heels yarn by Stylecraft, I think it is. And to be honest, I couldn't wait to finish them, as in I just didn't want to knit with it anymore. So here we go. So again, they're quite bright and quite jazzy. I tell you what really annoyed me about these is that I started off in exactly the same place. I did the heel in exactly the same place, but the stripes are different lengths, like only sort of a row, half a row out. So obviously when it came to the toes, I've got one big green bit and one little green bit, which slightly annoys me. Doesn't matter, they're for me, and once they're tucked in my shoes I'm not going to see them, but yeah, just a bit disappointed in it really. It doesn't feel, it's not very nice to knit with, I don't think. I think I've spoilt myself with hand-dyed yarns and obviously my yarn. And as I said, this isn't super soft, but it's not sort of rough. And this, it just split a bit, and yeah, just wanted to get them over and done with. But they're fun. It's the Amazon colourway. Again, I did a 2x2 rib, 64 stitches and a fish lips kiss heel. So that's those ones. So they're all my finished objects. It's been quite busy, and I'm really pleased because these have been sitting here for weeks and I haven't worn them because I wanted to show them. So I didn't want to show them after I'd worn them. So I've got loads of new knitted socks to wear, which is quite exciting. However, there's always one thing that you leave behind or leave out of the room when you're podcasting, and I have just realised that. So I'm going to nip downstairs and get one of my half-finished objects to show you. Back in a minute. Right, I'm back. So in my sock bag, which is this long bag here, I like the length of it because I can fold down the top like so and get to my socks. It's also, I've got my Kitchener, I don't know if you can see that, it's got my Kitchener stitch reminder on there. I'll put a link to where I got that from below. Was it Rose's Moments? I can't remember, but I'll put a link to that down below, but she's got some good things actually. So my half finished object, let's have a rabbit this time, because they're the best, aren't they? So let's pop that on there. So these socks I made from some yarn that I bought from down Sheepy Lane in the dough colourway, and they are just gorgeous. The yarn is just everything. I'm so happy with this yarn. Again, I shall put a link down below. Just sort my heels out for you. But the yarn's really pretty. There we go. And these are the Snowfall socks. Is it Snowfall or is it Snowfell? Hold on. Yeah, Snowfall Socks by Tabitha Gandee. But look at those speckles. Just gorgeous. Now, I did a 2x2 rib. It wasn't in the pattern. But I got the yarn and I just started thinking, oh yeah, it's 2x2 rib, and it wasn't until I looked at the pattern I realised it wasn't. And I wasn't going to unpick it, so I just carried on doing my 2x2 rib, but they are just gorgeous. And the stitch definition that you get with this yarn, especially on a speckled yarn, it's not lost at all. So I love them. I did a fish lip kiss heel again, because as I said, that fits me really well. And it's just so soft and lovely. And it smells divine. So, yep, so that's another sock that's finished. Put the bunny down there. I have done a little bit more on my second one. So there's my second sock. Done that much. So still working on that, and they're just lovely. Love the pattern, love the yarn, just a match made in heaven. So yeah, really pleased with those and how they're coming on. So that's my sock on the needles at the moment. The other half-finished object I have is a cardigan, and it's the Myrna cardigan by Andi Satterlund. It's in a worsted weight wool, and it's a nice green number. I don't know if you can't really see, but you can see it's got these eyelets down here. You're probably all familiar with this pattern, but it's yeah, it's coming along nicely. I've done the body. Just got to pick up the sleeves and do the band, and it's going to be really, really nice. Some of you may remember that I made a safari dress last summer and I wanted a cardigan to go with it, so this is for that. This is Wool of the Andes worsted in the fern colourway, which is going to be really lovely. Yeah, knits up really quick. In fact, I did this ages ago and I just haven't picked it up for ages, and now I'm wishing that I had. So I'm going to get on with that this time as well. So yeah, pretty busy, huh? Not bad. There's a lot of knitting going on while Dab's in hospital and while I was waiting for phone calls, and yeah, I find that knitting really helps with anxiety, and just keeping my hands busy calms me. And I hadn't noticed how much it did for me until I really needed it. So having something on the needles was just a breeze, and also having something quite mindless like a vanilla sock where you haven't got to think about it, you can just knit, 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 is really good and calm and relaxing. So knitting is good for your mental health, I can certainly say that. And I got lots done, so. So, acquisitions knitting wise. Well, I have got 2 more of these head over heels and not feeling it after doing my Amazon socks. Anyway, they will get knitted up into something, but as I said, I've just kind of been spoiled. So this one is Everest, and it's just some stripes, this lovely blue. I might knit my son some socks in that actually, because I think they're very much him. And then I got this boho one called Arno, and it's got a pattern a bit like the last pair that I showed you. It's got pinks and greys in it, and I'd have to do contrasting heels, toes and cuffs just because it just annoys me if it was out of sync. So yeah, so they will get knitted up, but I have to say I'm not really like feeling it with those ones at the moment. Another one that I bought was this one by Woolly Mama Yarns, and it's the Silversmith colourway. It's a 4-ply. Look at those lovely focus speckles in that. They're just gorgeous. So it's got greens and mustards, and it's going to be a pair of socks, and I am going to try and dye up or get some mustard in that rusty colour. I love that. This is 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon. So that's going to be a pair of socks. And then I was out at Brighton Day of Dance a couple of weeks ago, where a lot of Morrisides go out and dance over the weekend, and I belong to a Morriside, so we all go out and we hang out together and eat and drink and have an amazing time. And I popped into Yak because we were literally dancing around the corner by the pub, and popped into Yak, which was quite comical because there was a workshop going on, and about 10 Morris dancers walked in looking for yarn, and made an awful lot of noise with our bells on, so that was quite fun. But anyway, so we went into Yak and I bought this lovely yarn. Look at that. And I just thought it was such a nice neutral, so I just bought it. I thought it would go with all sorts, and there's some lovely browns in there as well. This is by Olan, and it's their Frizzle colourway. Love that name. And it is a 80% superwash merino and 20% nylon. Now I looked at it and thought, I really need a shawl with that. It's going to look really nice. I just want a grey. So I decided to dye up, if I can find it, it's up here. Decided to dye up one of my new bases, which is 65% merino, 20% bamboo and 15% silk. And I tried to copy the colour grey in there, which I have to say, I don't think I did a bad job. It's pretty much spot on. So this is going to be super drapey. This is one of the new bases I've got in my shop, which I'll talk about at the end. So I'm going to use those two together, and I am going to make the Summertide shawl, I think. And hold on a second while I just check my notes. Yeah, so the Summertide shawl is by Helen Phillips. No, it's not. Helen Stewart. Sorry, Helen. It's by Helen Stewart, and it's just lovely. It's a really lacy shawl. It's not so lacy at the top, but it goes into this lovely lace pattern. And I just think this will be lovely in the summer and autumn. So I'm going to use those. Just give you another look. Look at that. Yeah, so that's going to be a shawl. So I'm going to cast that on, ball that up, cast that on. I'm going away in a few days' time, and I'm going to be driving all the way up to Yorkshire to stay with friends, and I've got a long time in the car, especially as my other half likes driving, so I'm going to be knitting. I'm going to get loads done, although I want to get a sock done. I want to see if I can get a sock done in that time. Might be pushing it. Anyway. But I'm going to take this as well. So that's on the cards. Now, otherwise, I'll give you a little bit of a shop update. I was talking about my new base. So as I said, these are 65% merino, 20% bamboo and 15% silk. I think that's right. So I've got a few to show you. So this is Sunset over Lalybrook, and it's got these lovely golds and greys. I don't know if you're picking it. It's a bit lighter than it's coming across on the camera. And it's lovely. The reason I dyed this up is I'm a massive Outlander fan, like huge fan, and I love Jamie Fraser. But anyway, going back to what I was talking about, I have recently started reading the books, and if you haven't read the books and you've only seen the TV series, go and read the books, because there is so much left out and they are just brilliant. I'm actually listening to it on audiobook because I like to do that as I knit, so I get through quite a big chunk of it. But yeah, I'm really excited actually, because my friend who I was talking about earlier, who moved up to Scotland, she lives just down the road from where it was set, so I'm going to go and see if I can pretend to be Claire. Anyway, Sunset over Lalybrook, so really like that one. This one on the same base is Lobster Lagoon. Now, I was thinking about another podcast. I was thinking of lovely Ali. Hi Ali, from Little Drops of Wonderful podcast, which if you haven't seen it, you must go over, because she's just lovely. She's such a nice person, and she does an awful lot, and her, you know, she's got some stuff going on at the moment, and I was thinking about her and knowing how she loved lobsters, so I dyed this one up with her in mind. So this is Lobster Lagoon, so it's got these lovely speckles and blues, so that's that one. So Lobster Lagoon. I've also got Vintage Roses, which is coming out a bit more pinky in this light. It's actually a bit more sort of a red tone to it. So that's that one. And then I've got this one, which is Cola Bottles. I love it. So this is Cola Bottles. I did some that were based on sweets, so I did a rhubarb and custard one, and yeah. And if I unhook this one for you, you can see that it is like a cola bottle. So it's dark at the bottom, it gets lighter at the top, and it's got some of these lovely speckles in it as well. I'll just show you those speckles. So yeah, so that's that one. Sock sets, obviously I have got the Toxic Daffodil, which I showed you before, which is very bright. I've got another bright one called Lily the Pink. I did that, that's actually washing out slightly, but my dad bought me some beautiful lilies, and I love the speckles of red in them and the lime green. So, and the mini has got, Stellina in it. And finally, I think this is the last one to show you at the moment, is my Love Hearts. So I was saying about the sweets, this is the Love Heart one. So again, it's got lots of speckles in it. It's got a little mini as well. So yeah, so they're all in the shop at the moment, so I shall put the details below so that you can hop over and have a little look-see. Just have a slurp of my tea. So yes, so there's lots to go and see over there and lots to choose from. So I don't think I've got anything else to tell you. I think that's about it. Oh, the other reason why I was really busy as well and ran out of time is my baby boy was 21 as well at the end of April, which was just, I don't know where that time's gone. So he's grown up so quick, but he's turned into an amazing young man, and we're all immensely proud of him. So, so I didn't do bad. But other than that, I think that's all for this time. So thank you for spending a little bit of time with me today. Please give me a thumbs up if you like what you see, or leave a comment. It would be really nice to hear from you. So until next time, bye.